I'd like to talk to you today about ending the addiction. Maybe you found yourself one more time at the end of a broken relationship and you're just at the end of yourself. I mean, when you met this person, it was like dynamite. You just hit it off so well. You thought you were soulmates, twin flames, as some people call it. You had built up so many dreams for the future of what this relationship was going to become and who this person is to you. But now, whatever happened has happened, and here you are, and you just feel absolutely broken because it has fallen apart. And maybe the worst possible thing is that you did something to cause it. Are you destined to just feel this pain forever and just go in a perpetual cycle of brokenness and brokenness? Absolutely not. God has a way. God can heal us. And that's what I want to talk about today. Those very steps that you can take to be set free from a broken heart and a broken relationship. When we get into these relationships with people and we overvalue them and we put all of our hope into them instead of putting our hope and trust in God, what can happen is we end up with an obsession. We think about this person nonstop all day long. They're the source of our happiness and our joy. And that is actually like a true addiction. So the way to break free is the same process that you would go through to break free from any addiction. So the very first thing that you have to do is abstain. You have to go no contact for 30 days. 30 days is going to change any behavior. This means absolutely no phone calls, no text messages, no looking at their picture, and no stalking them on social media. No just ending up where they are. Oh, hey, I didn't know you'd be here. Look at that. No. Zero contact. Okay, but here, you really want this person. They're the only thing that you can think about. So how could I do this, Heather? I'm in so much pain. Well, here's the value of doing this, even though it's extremely painful. The value is that if you continue to keep contact with this person, what you're doing is you're giving them a backup plan. You're giving them some safety and some security, because in any breakup, people feel pain and people question whether or not the breakup should happen. But as long as they know that they have you in their back pocket, they'll feel safe enough to launch in to their next relationship. And you're going to feel horrible when you know that you helped pave that runway. And now here they are. They're off having the time of their lives, and you're even more devastated than what you were initially. And as you're groveling and crawling to them, this neediness, right, this desperation is a repellent. It's not an attractive feature. It denotes weakness, insecurity. That's not attractive. That's going to continue to push them away, the very thing you don't want to happen. And what will further happen is you have such aspirations and dreams to have a life with this person that any little breadcrumb they give you, you're going to be turning it into this massive thing about how they want to have this great relationship again. You're going to build these fantasies back up, which is just going to come crashing down yet again. So this is why we have to go no contact. But you say, okay, that sounds great, Heather, but how? This is so painful. It hurts so bad. How am I going to do this? We're going to do this because we're going to set new standards for ourselves. I was struggling in a breakup and I was in so much pain. And interestingly enough, my friend was going through a breakup as well. And he was in a lot of pain. And he kept kind of joking, saying, where's the rope? I need to get a rope. I want to kill myself. He was just he was really suffering. And then one day he just no longer was suffering. And I was like, what happened? What did you do? What did you do? And that's what I'm going to talk about here. But I actually went and did some research, and the evidence supports this, okay? And it's basically what the Bible says is renewing your mind. What he did is he said, listen, I did everything, Heather. I reached out to this woman. I offered all of my love, all of my praise, all of my hopes and future endeavors to this woman. I offered my best. I offered her my love. And she rejected me. She didn't even treat me with common decency and common respect. She showed contempt, okay? And so what he said is, no matter what she's doing, independent of her, I myself love myself enough. I have enough self-worth that I will no longer chase somebody who devalues me in such a way that they can't even give me basic dignity. And I thought, this is revolutionary. I've never done this in my life. And so I did the very same thing, and this is what I'm asking you to do. And all of the research shows, okay, when you do CIA investigators and people who try to do hostage negotiations, where they're trying to get somebody who wants to do one particular behavior, when they're trying to change it and get them to do another. This is even what cult people do. The way you get somebody to change behavior is you first get them to change their identity in their mind's eye, the way they view themselves. The way you see yourself, it is the most powerful force on the planet. You actually will manifest in that direction. Nothing is stronger than your mind's eye of who you are. So all along, you've been devaluing yourself. You're just worthless. So that's what you put out to the world, and that's what you get back. But no, we're done. We're going to heal. We're actually going to release all this trauma. We're going to release all this pain. We're going to release this relationship, and we're going to be built up new so that we can go out and have a new lease on life and actually find true, genuine love. So we have to say, okay, no, my standard is that I do not chase after people. I do not chase after people who devalue me. I love myself enough. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You might be leaving me. You might be coming to me. I don't care what you're doing. This is not you. This is me. I'm healing. I do not chase after people who do devalue me. Okay? Again, that sounds great, but like, how on earth do you do that? Well, we had connection with this person. God created us to be in fellowship, so we need connection. We need a support group. You need a friend. You need to tell your friends, I need you 24/7. You need to be on standby, okay? I need help. And if you don't have those friends, there are support groups all over the world. Okay, churches offer recovery. It's not just Alcoholics Anonymous. They have groups that can help everybody through whatever problems they're going through, codependence, whatever your issue is. There are people out there, sponsorships, get a counselor, okay? Whatever you have to do. There is, even in today's world, AI intelligence where you can actually get apps of people, you know, this AI stuff where it's somebody that you can talk to help you get through this. But you need to make new connections because these old connections are going to be broken. Okay? So that's how we're going to do it. No contact with them and contact with new people in a new direction with a new mindset that I value myself. I do not chase after people who do not respect me. Okay? And so what we want to do is give yourself 3 months. You have to just put in your mind's eye that for 3 months, I'm going to basically suffer and grieve. You're going to feel pain. The research shows that like some 70% of the people after 11 weeks, when they go through a traumatic event, actually begin to start to feel better. But we have to feel the pain. We have to sit in this pain. We have to get in touch with it because we're trying to release it. We do not want to just bury it and move forward. No, no, no. So if you have to cry, cry. If you have to talk about the person, talk about the person. We're not going to talk about them for the rest of our lives. No, we're going to talk about them in this window because we're going to purge it. We have to purge these feelings and purge all of these connections. If you're disappointed, whatever your emotions are, we're going to get in touch with them, okay? And what is the value of sitting in all of this pain, right? Like why on earth would I want to do this? This is so hard. My heart is breaking. I mean, I have gone through grief that was so significant that even breathing was painful. It was like literally painful to breathe. It was like I had a broken rib. That's how bad it hurt, but it was a broken heart. The value here is, like I said, we're not going to bury it, because when you bury feelings and you bury grief and you bury pain, it manifests as anger and frustration, and it breaks future relationships. It's limiting. So we don't want that, okay? So how, Heather, you ask me, how are we going to do this? As we're going to be working, we're going to be releasing it. And so that means we're going to journal. We're going to write. We're talking to friends. We're talking to these new people. We're getting this up out of ourselves. We're going to write down all of our feelings, write down all of the disappointments, everything that they did wrong, everything that they did right, everything. Write it all down. Get this down on paper. And as you're doing that, you're actually opening up your right brain, which is the brain that takes you out of your trauma response brain, right? Where this addiction and obsession is actually ruminating. So we want to write this all down. And once you've written down all of these hurts, disappointments, it's maybe filled with your blood, sweat, and tears, right? You want to turn this over and give this paper to God and say, God, heal me. Take this pain away and give me your strength and your healing and your restoration. Okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking and writing. We're going to be releasing all of this. And you say, how is this all going to work, right? Like, how is this going to help me? Well, here's what you have to do. You have to count the cost. This sounds painful, this sounds difficult, but here's the truth. How much time, how many months, and really, how many years did you waste on this person? Clawing after them, chasing after relationship, chasing the wind, right? How much hurt and disappointment did you have over all these years? How much anxiety and discomfort and insecurity are you filled with? How much of your peace and your calm has been stolen? How much of your productivity is gone from you feeling depressed and anxious and just laying around? How ugly have you really become? Because you're filled with insecurity, jealousy, control, manipulation. You're acting out against these people that they're chasing after. So you just became this monstrous kind of person. Count the cost of what this toxic relationship has done to you and your life. And that's why we don't want to go and have connection with them. We want to break all contact. And another thing you want to do is what they call playing it forward. You've been through this loop 1,000 times. Rerun it through your head. If you want to text them, you want to reach out to them, you want to, troll them on social media or whatever you want to do, just play it forward. Like, okay, so I reach out to them. This is the breadcrumb they're going to give me. And then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to overinflate it. And then they're going to show me a little bit of kindness. And I'm going to come back crawling, begging, and doing all this work. And then eventually they're going to abandon me one more time because they're not really digging me, whatever. And then I'm going to be broken again. Play it forward. You know what's going to happen. You know in your heart that this thing needs to end. You know in your heart that this thing has been painful and that this thing is making you weaker overall. This relationship is not building you up, but this relationship is tearing you down. So count the cost and play it forward. And that's what's going to give you the strength to say, I'm done chasing. I'm going to be valued now in life. And as we're looking through this, right, the annals of our life, we have to find acceptance. And the very first thing that we have to accept, the closer you get to truth, the more you're going to be healed. So we have to find acceptance with this notion. The breakup is real. This thing is over. We are broken up. It has ended. Like for real. Like you have to really sit in that. As painful as that is. The next thing you have to accept is that all that future faking that they gave you, all that future you built in your mind, that's all done. That's gone. None of that's going to happen. This relationship is over. All those connections that you have with them, their best friend, your partner, your lover, your the person that you work out with, whatever it is, your text buddy all day long, all these ways, your financial partner, all these connections that you have, each one has to individually be broken, and individually you have to feel the grief and the pain of each particular one. And it is extremely painful to go through each one because it is like a breakup on breakup on breakup. All that feeling has to be purged on every connection point that you have with that person. And it has to be full and complete, that there will be no root, no connections, no open windows for the future. Like, hey, let me just keep this one here because maybe, right? Maybe. No, all roots have to be severed. Even the one, there has to be acceptance, even that there will not be any anger bonds. You cannot walk into your next part of your life, into the next chapter of your life with bitterness, anger, unforgiveness, resentment, revenge, right? Vengeance is the Lord. So if there's going to be a day of recompense, the Lord can do it way more powerful than you. Give that to Him. Give all of that to Him. You cannot walk out of this relationship holding an anger bond to this person. No more trauma bonds, no more anger bonds. You're going to be set free. And you have to accept that you cannot change, control, manipulate, work this thing, push this ball up the hill anymore. There's nothing else that you can do. You can't be nice one more time. You can't send that one text that they're going to understand now how great you are. You cannot do it. This relationship is over. They don't want you. Or you yourself are saying that you don't want them because they're too toxic for you. Right? You have new standards in life. You no longer want their rations, their breadcrumbs, their toxic, behavior, their devaluation of you. You don't want this anymore. You're done. Okay? And you have to accept this truth that you absolutely are alone again. Like, who wants to be there? But listen, you're not at the end of the bottom of the barrel again, just like before, because this is a new you that's going to be coming out of this with this new identity. You actually have a new lease on life. We're not going to be at the bottom. We're going to be at the top. Okay? We're going to be at the top because we now understand who we are, and we're going to begin to attract those people because we're putting that out there. Okay? And so you have to accept, okay, that maybe you were flawed and you made some mistakes. You have to give yourself the same level of forgiveness that you're giving the other person. You abusing yourself is done. The new identity no longer is devaluing themselves in any way. You have to forgive yourself. How do you do this? Well, okay, now you see some areas where you need to improve, right? Because they did some things wrong and so did you. As you're purging through this, you're going to see some areas where you could become a little bit better. And this is an excellent thing because you need new connections. Here are your new connections. Go take a class, right? Go start a new activity. Get around different people. Begin to learn and grow. Start to watch new videos on YouTube about the areas that you need growth, right? Invest this time that you now have where you used to be connected to them. Now invest this in yourself because you're going to become a better person. You're no longer going to beat yourself up. You're going to build yourself up, right? So become a better person. Whatever your weaknesses are, you know what you did wrong. You know the areas where you've struggled your whole life. Take accountability for them. The closer you get to the truth, the more you're going to be healed. So go ahead and look at yourself, right? Like the Bible tells you, like take a real hardcore look at yourself, okay? And grow from this opportunity. Let this be a lesson to grow, not a lesson, okay, to continue to spiral down in a negative way. No, no, no. So learn new things, new activities, renewing the mind, because this gets us into our right brain, which is the healthy part of our brain. It gets us out of the trauma response where we need to get out of. Okay? And so as we're doing all this stuff, we're going to be guarding our heart. That's the essence of what I'm talking about. Guard your heart, like Proverbs says. The heart is a spring of life, and life springs up from it. And that's why you are to guard it. Your heart is the seat of your emotions. Your heart is the seat of your thoughts, your feelings, your desires. Your heart is the seat of life. It's who you are. It's your soul, okay? It's the place where love and hate are. And so we want to minimize the hate and we want to build up the love, okay? That's what we're doing. That's why we're forgiving them. We're forgiving ourselves. And how do you change your identity? You've got to reprogram, right? New thoughts, okay? We need a new identity so that we can begin to move into that space. So gone, we're going to purge out, are all the old words that we used to say. I'm stupid, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm too short, I'm too different, I'm too broken, I'm too much, or maybe I'm not enough this, I'm not enough that, right? All of that is going to be gone. And all of that comes down to I'm alone and I'll always be alone. That story has ended by the power and the blood of the name of Jesus Christ. May that be gone. The new story is the one that God tells us. The new story we're going to be telling ourselves, which is the truth, is that you are blessed, you are favored, you are anointed, you are chosen, you are redeemed, you are valued, you are loved, which all sums up to you are a child of God. And that's why you're not going to contact these people. That's why you're going into new areas and doing new things and investing in yourself and loving yourself enough to sit through this painful process of ending this torturous relationship. And while we're frantically writing, let's go ahead and write down, because maybe we never knew it, let's write down what a true healthy relationship is comprised of. Like, what is it even made of? Well, the key characteristics: it has to have value, respect, honor, dignity, and love. Those are essential. Write this stuff down. This is what a relationship takes. What does a relationship take? It takes, first of all, mutual attraction, not where you're attracted to them and they're just, like using you because, hey, they need a partner, they need a sex buddy, they need whatever. No. There needs to be mutual attraction, okay? That's ground one. You have to have that. Because if you don't even have that, you're going to always feel insecure around this person, and everybody else that they're like interacting with, you're going to feel less than. You need to have mutual values. If you're loyal, they need to be loyal. If you're honest, they need to be honest. You need to have a mutual religion. You can't be chasing after God and they're watching filthy movies. They're getting drunk all the time. They're chasing after like different young girls. It's just not going to work. You can't be unequally yoked. You can't be a Christian and they're off in some cult. That's not going to work. You have to be equally yoked in your ideologies and your principles and your religion. You have to have mutual goals and mutual dreams. You can't want children and they don't. You can't want to live, at the beach and they want to live, out on a farm, right? With animals and whatever. Like, your dreams and your visions for the future have to be the same. You have to have mutual respect. It can't be where you're like giving all the love and adoration and they just give you nothing in return. That's not a real relationship. You have to have what I call mutual shine. And this is where when the two of you come together, that dynamic is so wonderful that it makes both of you the best version of yourselves. This isn't where you're building them up, giving all of your life energy to them, and they're just sucking it away, and you are just becoming more and more depleted. No, they reinvest in you and they build you up. They make you feel safe. They make you feel seen. They make you feel special, valued, adored, loved, honored. Mutual shine. That you have to come out of this relationship not chasing them, but you have to come out of this relationship chasing your dreams, chasing your aspirations. They have built you up so much that now you're like, oh man, why am I here? What can I do? I've got so much to give in this life, your abundance, your overflow. You want to give it to other people instead of them being like a vampire sucking the life out of you. You have to be mutually compatible. Things have to line up in every area. And this one here is the one that takes you out of situationships, that takes you out of toxic relationships. This last one, you have nothing unless you have this. And so many relationships lack this. You have to have mutual commitment, the big commitment word. They can't give you word salad and hey, I'm broken, and hey, I'm trying, and hey, give me time, hey, I want to go slow. That's all rubbish nonsense. That's all lies and manipulation to keep you on a string. They have to say, listen, I have counted the cost myself. I have been out there. I've seen what's available. I see the relationship that we have together, and therefore I'm choosing you. They have to tell you this. I'm choosing you to the exclusion of everybody else. You and I are going to do this thing together. I'm committed to you. Just me and you. That's it, period. If you don't have all of those, you have nothing. And that's how you're going to end up with a broken heart one more time again. So you need to write this down. Get this in your heart. Get this in your new identity, that this is what a relationship is to me. Nothing else will count. Nothing else will do. And while you're writing, okay, the most important thing, what's the glue that's going to hold that all together? The definition of love. Write down, what is love? What is love? Right? That elusive creature we're all seeking. What is it? You need to define it. I went my whole life not knowing what it is. Love is to be seen, and love is to be known, and love is to be valued. Love is patient. Okay? Love is kind. Love is honest. Love is truthful. Love tells the truth. It doesn't lie, gaslight, okay? Hide things, manipulate. It doesn't control. No. It's gentle. It's respectful. It's open and honest and transparent. Okay? It's caring. It has devotion in it, consideration, loyalty, commitment, right? It's forgiving. It's open and free, and it feels safe. It feels good. It builds you up. It makes you stronger. It makes you courageous, that you want to just run out into life and do what you were destined to do. It makes you want to chase dreams, not chase people. And love is having critical, difficult, truthful conversations. Love is not burying feelings, emotions, and needs and just hoping for the best. Maybe if I just bury this and pretend like I don't have these feelings and needs, and if I just overlook the offense of what they're doing to me, maybe if I just overlook this continuous trauma, then that will be a good relationship. Absolutely not. Love is being in fellowship with somebody and being able to have open and honest, true dialogue with that person, where you're able to say, these are my feelings and these are my needs, okay? And here's my expectations, right? Healthy, it has to be healthy. All this has to be healthy. But that person has to reciprocate. That person who loves you will value your feelings. They're going to care about your feelings. They're going to care about what your needs are. They're not going to overlook them and trample on them. No, love cares. This is difficult, like I said, but it is essential. And like I told you, when I saw my friend who changed his mind's eye about himself, and he said, I will no longer chase after somebody who devalues me. That is how you're going to end this obsession. That is how you're going to end this addiction, because you're going to abstain from it. You're going to turn your face from it. You're going to head in a new positive way and a new positive identity of who you are. I pray that this is helpful. I pray that the Lord blesses you and takes all of your hurt, all of your pain, all of your brokenness away, so that you will be redeemed and restored, so that you will recover enough and become so healthy that you will become the man or woman that God has destined you to be. Thank you. God bless you, and I hope to see you again. Bye-bye.